Treasury yields trade back to the year-to-date midpoint. And when I say that, I'm looking at the 260 to 280 range we've seen year-to-date. Yeah, we did dip below that the first week of the year, but if we take that out since January 7th, it's been a pretty balanced trade with about 20-some days below 270 and 20-some days above 270 in yield. And we just spent a few days above it. Now we're back below it again. It's just the market just is straddling this 270 level in yield. And right now it's very much waiting like a spring for something to push it either higher. Good news to push yields higher, not so good news, or perhaps a flight to quality bid to knock yields lower. And we just sit at the midpoint, and it's not surprising that as we sit in the middle of the range, at the middle of the 2+ month range, the volatility is also lower. Since the aforementioned January or first week of January, 10-year volatility has not traded above the 14-day moving average. Maybe spare one day we saw an intraday uptick, but certainly it's been a declining volatility environment as yields are sort of stuck in the range. And it doesn't seem to me that there's any sort of breakout coming. And if you look for some kind of news-generated breakout, whether it be good or bad, it doesn't seem to have that effect. We move the market and then it reverts right back when the dust settles. And right now I think that's what we're sort of in the middle of. We may see something like that on Friday with the employment number. Employment numbers are expected strong. If they come in weak, I do anticipate yields will dip, but I don't know if we'll get through that 260 level that we've seen basically mark the bottom of the range. And so, seeing yields hover in the middle of the year-to-date average, year-to-date midpoint, seeing volatility in a declining mode below the 14-day moving average. One other measurement we can look at is the 2s10s yield curve, which is traded between 10 and 20 this year. And where is it right now? It's sort of right in the middle. And I think that that's sort of where we're also seeing it. All these major indicators sort of waiting for something to happen. Is it going to be Brexit, or is it going to be the Fed? Is it going to be some announcement out of China? Is it going to be something? I think there's just way too many variables out there, and the market right now is being very cautious. And if you look at equities, they've seen a rather strong uptick since the end of the year, but that has even started to slow. So ultimately, I think the markets are waiting for that it moment. Yeah, it could be at the end of this month when we get the Brexit announcement. I know I've been saying that for a long time, and what's going to happen afterwards is really the key here, and the ripple effects and the risk off trade that we should see leading up to it, and that should keep the market at bay. But the fact that we're at the midpoint of the year-to-date range in so many commodities suggests to me that there's just, the players are waiting to see what happens. They're not going to try and front run it. They're not going to try and defend it. They're going to take their chips off the table and wait to see where things lay when the dust settles. So I anticipate we'll see yields continue to maybe nudge a little bit lower. Obviously, the big risk on Friday is a weak jobs number. Recall 10 years ago today, we got that massively huge weak jobs number in March of '09, and certainly not going to see that on Friday. But I think that if we do start to see weakness there, the Fed has also hinted at some other different maneuvers it may use. I think that is also bringing in a little bit of caution as well. So the Fed demonstrating that it's not going to be raising rates. The market showing you that the Fed isn't priced to raise rates. Also another reason why I think yields will be headed lower. We could see a slight uptick on Friday if the number is strong, but certainly will be short-lived. I think buyers are out there, and we'll look to see if we get those yields back north of 275. I think buyers will be ready and standing by.